guys, what's up? Dale Valor here from Modern Valor Dating. Listen, always people comment, send me DMs, things like that, video topics that they want me to touch on. And so that's what I'm going to do today. We've been doing that a lot lately, and that's awesome, man, because I love when you guys give me things to work with because we want to give you what you want, So one of the things that somebody said to me is, can you do a video on why being dumped is good for you? And I thought that was a good topic, man, because we haven't really covered that before. We have been in the middle of a breakup playlist. This isn't part of that. We've all been through breakup. They all suck. It can be a terrible, terrible experience. But what good can you take from it? How can it be good for you? So I thought about it and I came up with 5 things that are good for you if you were to break up with your girl, or you got dumped, or you dumped her, or whatever the case might be. What can you take from that that's good? And it's one of those deals, it's a silver lining situation, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta look for the good in it. It can be a traumatic experience if it was a bad breakup. It can be an excellent experience if it's like, look, we have nothing in common. There's nothing going on here. You cheated on me 100 times. This isn't working out. So in that case, it's obviously awesome. But nonetheless, good situations can come from this. All right, so we're going to hop into it right now. Let's get it. Number 1, it gives you time to evaluate your behavior. What I mean by that is, how did you perform in this relationship? You just broke up, right? Or maybe you broke up 2 years ago. I don't know. But you can always look back at that situation. How was your role played out in that relationship dynamic? And so here's the deal, man. If you go back and you look and you see all the good things, and people tend to romanticize relationships sometimes, like, oh, we had all this good stuff going on. I don't even know why we broke up, blah, 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 blah. Man, in your heart of hearts, you know what the deal is. So here's the thing. When we're talking about evaluating your behavior, what I mean by that is this. You had a role in that relationship. Were you leading that relationship? Were you the one that was enforcing boundaries? Were you the one that told her even what your boundaries even were? Was she running roughshod on you? If that's the case, look, the next time out, don't do that same thing. If she broke up with you because you were doing a certain thing that I think universally we can all agree, not a good deal, man. I think if you look back and you take a look at that relationship, you know how you behaved in it. If you weren't happy with the way that your role was shaping in that relationship, why is that? I will tell you why. It's because you weren't taking the lead in that relationship, man. As the man, you should be leading, not following. I'm going to put a caveat on that, okay? You want to take her preferences into consideration, obviously, okay? So if, for instance, you're deciding where you're going to eat and she's allergic to shellfish, maybe not a good idea to go to Red Lobster. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to take her preferences into serious consideration. But that being said, you ultimately should be making the decisions. Now, there's going to be times where she leads. For instance, say that she's good with budgeting and you're not. Maybe have her make a budget. But the thing is that ultimately you should be the one that's making the core decisions inside of that relationship. And if you weren't doing that, maybe she left you for another guy that's a little more assertive. Maybe she left you for a guy that knows how to take control of situations and you weren't doing that. Okay, fine. I know it sucks, man, that you're like, oh God, I don't like this guy that she went with and all that kind of thing. But there's going to be things about yourself that you should change. So be honest with yourself, man. Take a look back. And if there's things about yourself that you need to change, then change them, okay? So you have to be honest with yourself. Don't be spiteful in the sense of, well, she went with a guy that's more quote unquote alpha, and so I'll show her I'll be as beta as possible and then get a girl prettier. Probably not going to work out. Reverse engineer it. Reevaluate what happened in that relationship. And if there's something that you can change, if there's something that was your fault, be honest with yourself. Be honest enough, man, to start changing it. Don't let your ego control you. All right? All right, we're going to get number 2. Let's get it. Number 2, you can level up. All right, meaning, okay, you're not in this relationship anymore. She broke up with you. You broke up with her. Whatever the case might be. All right? You have time on your hands. Start working on yourself. You know, it's so cliche for guys to get into the gym. It's so cliche to get a gym membership after you get out of a relationship. It's cliche, but it is a good thing to do. You know, start working on yourself. Not just the gym, but work on yourself mentally too. I'm a big believer in health, wealth, and relationships. Those 3 things pretty much universally control our entire lives. You know, those 3 concepts. Work on your health. Work on your wealth. Man, you got more time. Start picking up more hours at your job if you can. Start working overtime. Start developing a side gig. Start learning about investing. Start learning about cryptocurrency. Whatever you got to do. But start having more streams of income coming in. Okay? Work on that. Relationships. Take that first point that we talked about. What can you change about yourself, about your personality that's rubbing people the wrong way, that relationships aren't working out? Now, I'm not saying to kowtow, but that might be the opposite. Maybe you're being a doormat. Start standing up for yourself. Start being assertive. There's all those concepts, those 3, health, wealth, relationships. Start working on all of those. You know what? Here's the deal, man. You're never going to arrive. I hate to break it to you, but there's never going to be a point in time where you feel like that you have arrived, okay? And if you have, welcome to being a sociopath. All right, so here's the thing, man. Like, if you look at somebody like, we'll say The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, okay? I think if you ask 100 people, has The Rock arrived? They're going to tell you, yes, he has. But I promise you, if you were to ask Dwayne Johnson that, he will tell you no. Why? Because even at his level, he sees other levels that he wants to get to, things that he wants to accomplish, okay? And that's the same thing with you. You're never going to feel like you've gotten there. All right, and that's a good thing, man, because that makes you push. It makes you keep moving forward. It keeps you motivated. It keeps you leveling up. All right, okay, we're gonna get number 3. Let's get it. Number 3, rediscover your purpose. Okay, look, here's the deal, man. You know, oftentimes, and maybe I'm talking to you, and if you feel like I am, then I probably am. All right, here's the deal. A lot of times, a woman gets attracted to a guy because he's on his purpose. He's trying to make things happen. He's assertive. He has passion for things in life. And he's out there trying to go get it, man. And that's dope. But the thing is, as soon as they get into a relationship, those things go right out the window. You know what I mean? And maybe you've been there, where it's like, okay, now she's trying to get more time to spend with her. You know, like, oh, don't go to that meeting that's super important. Come have a picnic with me. You know, sorry about that, man. Didn't mean to burp in your ears like that. Maybe she's trying to get your attention on lock, but here's the deal. Your purpose supersedes all of that, man. Your purpose, the reason that you were put on planet Earth, is to be better, to keep moving forward and getting down that path to accomplishing the purpose that you were put here for, and that supersedes her. Now, I know that seems cold, and that may seem a little bit harsh, but here's the deal. That's why she was attracted to you in the first place. So all you're doing is allowing that respect to be chipped away, right? Because, man, look, if she doesn't respect you, that attraction is going to wax and it's going to wane. And ultimately, she's not going to respect you. And if she doesn't respect you, it's a wrap, okay? And it's going to make your relationship horrible because she doesn't respect you, okay? How can she really believe what you say that you're going to do when you're nothing more than a paper tiger? There's no meaning behind your words. So look, man, stay on that purpose. Next time you get into a relationship, she needs to know that she comes second to whatever it is that you feel like your purpose is. She needs to understand that, okay? Now, you don't have to say it harshly or anything like, look, bitch, you're number two. You don't need to say it like that. But what you do need to do is emphasize the fact that, look, you are not going to infringe upon me being on my path. Why don't you come along this path with me? If you don't want to be on this path, that's okay. That's up to you. That's your call. You can dip out. But believe me when I say I'm going down this path with or without you. All right, we're going to get number 4. Let's go. Number 4, take lessons with you. Meaning, look, it's similar to the first point, but a little bit different. What I mean by that is there were good things in that relationship. If there wasn't, why were you in it in the first place? And there were bad things in that relationship. Obviously, that's why you're not together. Okay? Take things with you into the next relationship that you learned from the previous relationship or relationships. Okay, so you like a certain thing. You like the way that when girls do this, okay? It could be sexually, it could be conversational, it could be anything. What are your preferences? You liked how some of these girls did this, and you didn't like how they did this. Take that with you as well. Okay, so you know that this kind of behavior, if it's a negative behavior, rubs you the wrong way. All right, so you need to check them on that early in the relationship. Start setting those boundaries early. Or conversely, if you like this type of behavior, reinforce that. Let her know that. You could say things to the effect of, I really appreciate when you make my lunches for work. Like, that's so awesome. I really appreciate that you do that. Let her know that. Because now that she knows that you're happy with it, she's going to continue doing it. You got to let her know, though. Because if she doesn't know, she may just stop. Like, I never got a compliment for that, so maybe he just wants to make his own lunch. So whatever that is, take that with you. And listen, in the comments, I would love to know the biggest lesson that you learned in a previous relationship that you took with you or you plan on taking with you to the next relationships. I'd love to see that in the comments, man. I'd love to chop it up with you. Or if you have a great video idea, put it in there, man, because we're always open to that, all right? Okay, we're going to get to number 5. Let's get it. Number 5, go after what you really want, okay? You got out of this relationship. It sucks. But almost like what I'm talking about in the last point, now you know what it is that you really want. Define it. Really get honed in on it. And look, there's all kinds of different relationship styles. So know what you're getting into in the next one. Maybe you want an open relationship next time out. Or maybe you want a poly relationship. Or a monogamous relationship. You came out of an open relationship and you didn't like it. Okay, so here's the deal. Moving into the next relationship, know what kind of relationship you want. Also, know what characteristics you want in a girl. And I mean physically, the way that she interacts with you, mentally, all those types of things, man. Her personality type, all of that. Take that with you into the next one. Screen for those things as you go out on dates. I don't know what it is, but, back in the day, guys used to date multiple girls, and girls would date multiple guys. And then from there, figure out, okay, who do I interact with best? Maybe I want to move into a more serious relationship with this one girl, right? And for whatever reason, that kind of stopped. by and large. I mean, there's guys that do it and that kind of thing. And, and I feel that I'm one of them. But here's the deal. Now it's like, as soon as we're talking, we're kind of in a relationship and shouldn't talk to anybody else. Dude, fuck that. Do you. Find out who works best for you. Because if you're going to be investing all this time and all this energy into a new relationship, and you got that new relationship energy going on, and that's another thing, by the way, if you have that new relationship energy going on, still be willing to screen, still set boundaries, all those things, because you're in that honeymoon phase does not mean that you shouldn't get and find out exactly what that girl is, her whole get down. All right, because why go through all that just for it to be like, oh, well, we don't agree on this, and we're not compatible this way and that way. Don't put yourself out there like that. Date multiple girls, okay? And the thing is, of the girls that you date, one of them is going to be the most compatible for you. And if not, then date more, okay? Go after what you really want, not what you kind of want or what may look good on paper. Go after what it is that's right for you. All right, so listen, guys, we're doing a whole playlist on what to do after a breakup. All right, so what I want you to do is go to that playlist and start at video 1, and it's going to give you a lot of insight. All those videos are going to go deeper and deeper and deeper on what to do after a breakup, and I feel like this video is super compatible with that. So what I want you to do is go there, check that out, and I will see you there.